Is your core keeper character constantly complaining about how hungry they are? Yeah, I thought they were. In this video, I'm going to show you the best early game food to keep you adventuring at full energy. The materials you need for this food you'll be able to get very early on. They're found throughout pretty much every cave in the early areas, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding them. The food that I'm talking about, of course, is the bell peppers and beef, which is made of two ingredients, the hearty berry and the bomb pepper.
So you wouldn't really call it bell peppers and beef, now would you?
Okay, so there's no beef in the recipe. The recipe is actually called the hearty pepper wrap. As you can see, it gives you plenty of buffs, which should make fighting those early bosses a bit easier. So here we've just gotten two of the ingredients. Let's run them back to the base. You'll notice I have long lines leading to and from my base. I find it a lot easier to travel around. Let's dump them in the cooking pot. As you can see, it doesn't take too long for the food to cook. Well, it takes a little while. There we go. So, when you finally scoff down this food, you're going to get 4 different benefits. You're going to get 21% movement speed for 1 minute, 2.8 health every second for 20 seconds, 25 max health for 10 minutes, and it's going to restore 21 food. So to start actually efficiently making this food, you're going to need a furnace, which requires 20 dirt blocks. I'll assume you already have this, because you'll get all those blocks whilst you're mining out your core early on. The second thing that you're going to need, and more importantly, is the cooking pot. Naturally, you need it to cook. So to make that, you're going to need to go out and find 4 copper ores. But before you go out exploring to find that, I would recommend getting into the habit of actually planting your crops before you leave. This way when you return, they should be there ready for you to harvest. And as you can see, I have those long tunnels leading every direction out of my base, so that I can easily go exploring and gathering resources. Okay, so now that we have all those ores, head back to the base, stick them in one of your furnaces, and you'll be able to make the cooking pot. Now that the pot's finally ready, dump it down somewhere in your kitchen, and we'll go get the next item, which is this large watering can. The watering can is more of a quality of life improvement. It's not essential for this sort of farming setup, but you will be able to cover a lot more of your soil with water in much less time. So to make that, you are going to need to go out and get 10 iron. Or more than this if you don't have the iron workbench. I like to just dig out of my base in long straight lines right out into the dark depths of the caverns. There are some stronger creatures here, but you'll be able to deal with them with some simple weapons. And what on earth is that? What even is that? Alright. Let's go quickly deal with that before I continue explaining the food situation. I reckon if we kill this thing, we should get some food from it anyways, right? Let's take a couple bombs. Just dump that there. Okay, so that's not actually a boss. Never mind. We did get a cool little colossal husk thing from it. Anyways, now that you've got your watering can, we can actually start looking at the farm.
A world where no one will go hungry.
That's right, now that you've got your watering can, your cooking pot, you pretty much got everything you're going to need to set up this simple farm. Like I said, this is perfect for the early game. It's very easy for one person to manage. And as long as you remember to replant your crops after you've harvested them, you should have a pretty steady source of food. And as you'll see with your shiny new watering can, watering the crops is a lot easier now. You'll be able to spend more time scoffing down delicious snacks.
That's delicious!
If you check the top left hand corner here, you'll be able to see all of those buffs starting to stack up. It's also worth noting that one of the ingredients for this recipe, the hearty berry, is actually used for luring and raising these different animals that you'll find in the meadowy areas around the caves. These are great for dropping milk and wool and things like that. Let's just dump this here real quick. And back to the nice cute animals. As you can see here, Ramsey is trying to follow me around to eat the berry out of my hand, because these berries are delicious, which is why I'm recommending this recipe. But as long as you don't let them get too close, they can't get it. But I really would recommend getting these animals back to your base as early as you can. Another food item that is really good to combo with the hearty pepper wrap is the crunchy pepper wrap. This one is made from these little white carrot looking things that you'll find in the darker caves. And as you can see, the buff it gives is plus 23 armor, 21% movement speed, and 16 food. If you eat these two in combination, you'll see in the upper half-time corner there, we get a lot of extra buffs. We're getting the armor, the health every second, and a lot of movement speed. Most importantly is this first one that you can see here is 5% increased damage whilst being well fed. And that is why it's so important to stay well fed in this game. It makes fighting bosses and other creatures a lot easier. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more little guides like this, do subscribe to the channel, and if you have any feedback on the video, please drop it down in the comments. I would really appreciate that. I really hope you've enjoyed the video today. In the future I'll probably make a more advanced guide because there are lots more recipes in this game with much bigger buffs. But until then, take it easy, and I will catch you all in the next one.